Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Turquoise and Sasquatch, with me, Wendy Wilson. Today is Tuesday, January 24th, 2023, and I wanted to get on here and talk to you about a picture I took. I think I mentioned it in the comments. I know you guys saw my picture I posted on my community tab, and there were a lot of comments that it's a dog man. I was hoping not, but I actually, like I said, I haven't seen one with the naked eye. I haven't seen, in that particular day that I took that video was fine. Like, I just took a video. I took a video just because I feel like there's something there. It wasn't that I was scared. There were birds flying around. So I took those pictures. But first I wanted to say thank you. Notice that I have a lot more subscribers. So welcome to my channel. I guess talk about just different things. I think I'm trying to get my husband to start a podcast with me or start something. We can do some kind of video thing. We're not very good with like technology. We're both kind of more hands-on things because we work great together. And I know when he starts going, like he reads his Bible and we start questioning and throwing off ideas off of each other, I think we do great. And I thought maybe we can put that on some kind of video or podcast. Just because, a lot of what's going on like today, I think he's interested, but I think he wants to start with our garden. So we might start off with that. I'm not sure when we get our garden going. So we'll see. I'm trying to convince him to kind of get on here with me. But I guess I want to talk about just, what goes on here, what I've come across. I do kind of want to talk about, scripture and just what pulls me. I guess might even talk about just, I don't know, anything that comes up, everyday stuff, like what goes on in the world, because there's so many crazy things going on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are people seeing this? And I felt like that basically for years. We're like, oh my gosh, the people pay attention. I've noticed that there are a lot more people like me, and which is great. So I figured, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one that sees these kinds of things. Anyway, so I might put that on a video. I don't know. I might just, whatever comes to mind. I'll just go ahead and talk. But I wanted to talk to you about this other picture that I kind of I took back in like April. I think it was April 9th of 2018. It was snowing, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's like snowing in April. And so I'm going to talk about it because this one's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to me. And I kind of left it just because it's weird. I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. So I'll bring it up, and I don't know. You guys, if you see it, great. If you don't see it, that's cool too. I know people can take pictures, blurry pictures. Go right ahead. Go knock yourself out. Do it on your own. But this one I can't figure out. So I just kind of have it sitting there. But I'll share it today. And I'm going to bring it up. And I'm going to tell you that day we were going to head out somewhere with my husband. And I was sitting in the car, waiting for him. Let me make it. Hold on, let me see. No, I think that's fine. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So there is something there. And actually, you know what? Let me bring it over. Because I think it's got its head kind of to the side. I can't put my cursor on here where I can point out because it looks weird to me. I don't see any ears, but I see like two eyes, and they're basically sideways. I see a nose, I see a mouth, and I think I see a tongue sticking out. Let me see if I can enlarge so you can kind of make it out. I think there's a tongue. I think it's, to me, it looked like a dog. And this is when I thought, I don't know. It looks like it's sticking his tongue out, and it's just kind of like, it's almost like an excited, I don't know how to explain it. And I think there's other little eyes next to it, but I'm not going to talk about those. I'm going to talk about whatever white. It looks kind of white, okay? It looks tan, white. It doesn't, I couldn't figure it out. The reason why I kind of focused in on it, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to switch to the next picture. Okay. This area, I'm not supposed to be seeing that. Okay. You can see kind of like little lines. That's the snow. It was snowing. And I was in the car. I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay. So here I have side by side. So this is like, I'm going to share pictures, and you're going to notice my trees. You're going to get to know my trees, and you're going to get to know my cedar trees and my jungle gym area. So this is a tree that I have in front of my cedar trees, and this is like right by my jungle gym area. Right now we have like a pile of sand that, we use for the garden, and is being covered by a tarp. Back then we didn't have it. So if you see my other pictures, it has a black tarp, and then we have sand underneath there. Right now we didn't have it. So you can see the two pictures like compared, and you can see the little snow, like the little flurries falling. There's nothing there on which would be the left picture, and then you can see it there. It's sticking out on the right. And it looks kind of like tannish, and it's kind of sideways. That I cannot explain. It kind of looks like there's other little eyes on the one on the left, but I can't really make that out. So I'm not going to focus on that. But there's definitely something, a little head sticking up on the right side. And so this is with nothing. So this is the same area. It's got nothing. There's nothing there. You just see the little snow flurries and my trees. There it is, again. And this one's sideways. Darn it. I couldn't get this one. This is going to come out sideways. But this is just to show you, I think it started to kind of manifest or come through. I don't know. It's right there on the bottom. It's sideways. I didn't notice that this one, I don't know how to work this yet. Let me move on to the next one. But that's my jungle. Okay. And you can see, I put this one in here so you can see I was sitting inside my car. I was waiting, I think, for my husband. We were going to head out. So there's like at the bottom there, that little black, I was in the car. And from the car, I took pictures. I was just taking pictures. And I wasn't taking pictures I was just thinking, oh my gosh, it's snowing in April. I was just taking pictures of like, it's ridiculous that it's snowing in April. And I'm sorry that this is sideways. I couldn't figure out how to straighten it. But you can see it's my jungle gym area. And again, back to my first picture there. It looks like it's sticking his tongue out. And it looks kind of like a dog to me. That one I can see. That one I don't really talk about. Just because, again, I took it back in April. I think it was one of the first ones that I was saying, why, there's something there. And it looks like a dog. So I think it was April 9th of 2018 that we got snow in April that year. But it wasn't much. It was just a dusting of snow. So that I can't explain. And I know someone mentioned, oh, they kind of, a lot of the times they kind of look cartoonish, which I cannot explain that. It almost looks so unreal, like unreal. I'm going to leave this one on. Let me just make it a little bit smaller. I'll leave that one there. Give me 1 second here. I got to figure this out. Okay, I'll leave it there. And maybe I'll play it and while I talk. See if that works. Maybe not. It's not going to work. Oh, no, yes, it is. It was working. You know what? I'll just leave it paused right there. There. Okay. So, a lot of, I've seen, even with the naked eye, the ones that I've seen, it looks so unnatural. Like the curve of their body, when, like what I've seen, like on all fours, it looks animalistic, but it's like, at least the ones that I've seen, they're long and thin and almost like a lean. And when, I know I've talked about this before, there was one that I saw that kind of popped out of a tree. It kind of looked, I mean, I saw like his forehead and like his face, head, shoulders, like top of like his body. And when he kind of came out, it didn't look, I don't know how to explain it. It almost looked like unrealistic, like it was kind of even though it was kind of solid, it still kind of looked like the body. It almost looked like kind of like more like a deep myth. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, it's unreal. And it's like, I can't believe it, and I think a lot of the times, and again, I know I mentioned this before, I take a lot of pictures because it's almost like, how do I prove like what I see? How do I, how do I do that? Like, how do I explain to people? And I know my pictures don't really, they kind of look, they don't, they're not, it's a lot of the time it's hard to see. Now I think some of I've done good, because I think I've captured like expressions. Sometimes I'm like kind of far away, so it doesn't capture. The bigger they are, the more definition I get. The smaller, it's not as defined. And I've noticed that with like my kids, when I take pictures, when I have them standing, or, for area where I saw one, and I can't, where I'm standing, and when I have them stand, I can't make out their features. It's kind of like blurry. And it's like, wow, when I look back and look at, it's a huge one because I can actually see definition. So it's that kind of, thing. I know, oh, this is also what I wanted to talk to you about. And yes, let me go ahead and talk about this. So someone asked me, like, did I smell anything? I didn't. I don't smell anything. There are times where I have smelled like a musky, like skunky scent. it kind of lingers for a little bit, then it's gone. There were some mornings where my son was getting, ready to go to school. And this actually, let's see, I think because they were leaving at the same time, my two sons. But I think this is the time where my older one had already graduated, and he was going to college. He was going to university. So my youngest kind of, we would open the front door, and because the bus picked him up like right in front of the house. So that was so great. He would get picked up and dropped off. Both of them did get picked up and dropped off. So there were some mornings where we would open the door and it was like this skunky scent. And it's like, oh. But it was just in the area, and it was just for like, it didn't linger. Like it stayed for like a few seconds. So I thought that was odd. And I actually was walking around, I don't know, 2 years ago, a year ago. I was kind of showing, because I do have my family and everything in a group, and I kind of take videos, and I was walking around and I was showing them. I'm like, this is where I think they tend to hide. So inside of one of my there's a cluster of cedar trees like past my garden, and it looks like it's a room in there because they're all kind of around, and the middle is kind of empty. So I went in there and I'm like, look, and I'm kind of, with my phone and everything. And I was thinking, this is where I think they hide because they can see us from like behind the garden. And all of a sudden I started to smell like this skunky smell. And I got a feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here. I could smell like this scent. And I got out of there real quick. And I'm like, all right, I'm going in. And I took pictures, like as I was walking away, and I'm like, all right, I'm going in. And I came in, and I looked back, and there was faces in there towards the top of the cedar trees. And I'm like, wait a minute, I went in there, I didn't see anything. Like, I would not have gone in there if I saw something. I didn't see anything. I always feel like they're out there. So it wasn't like, I was thinking, oh my gosh, there's something here. It wasn't like that. But I always think that there's, when you have a feeling when you're being watched. I did have that, but it wasn't strong. So I went in there. And looking back, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh. It's almost like it wasn't until I was inside and I was talking that I started to smell that. I didn't smell it before. So then I thought, were they scared? There was another time where I was mowing, and there's this brush that we have. It's a bunch of wild berries, blackberries, raspberries. There's all kinds of stuff in this area. We have like a fox den in there, and I think I used to think that there's like the little ones hidden there. The reason why is I found vines that were kind of like interweaved, and I found I need to find the pictures because I took pictures of like little branches that were kind of placed on top of the brush, and they look almost kind of weave, like a basket weave, and it was sitting on top. And I thought, that's really odd. So I took pictures, and I also see it's almost like there's like a hole in the ground, and then there's like vines. I could see the holes. Now, it could be other animals living in there. I'm not, I wish I knew about, because I know we have coyotes and everything, foxes. So could it be I know that there's like a small hole, and I definitely know that that's like a fox den. But I wonder if there's other, because it's a bigger hole, and it almost looks like a tunnel. And it has it's a bunch of branches. And that place gets covered in this spring and summer with vines, and just, you can't really see through. But in the fall and winter, I can make things out. So I always thought, they hide in there. This particular day, it was summertime. I was mowing, and I came, because I do my turn, and I'm mowing, and I could have sworn I saw a brown little figure go in there. Because as I'm coming around, and I saw it, and I'm thinking, I passed the area on the mower, and then I stopped. And it's almost like I did a double take, wait a minute. Did I see that? Did I really see that? Did I see something brown? It looked like it was an all fours, dart in there. So I'm, sitting there on the mower, and it's a zero turn. So then I'm backing up. And when I'm backing up, I get this stench, which it almost made me throw up. It was almost like a pissy, strong. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get out of here. So I, put my mower forward again, and I'm like, get out of the area. And I'm thinking, as I'm doing my line straight back up, I'm thinking, did I see that? Did I really see that? So I go up, and then I do my line, and then I come back around, and I'm thinking, okay, am I, because that smell was so horrendous. It was so horrible. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to. But by the time I'm getting to there, I'm like, I don't smell it. I don't smell it anymore. So, and it was a long line that I had to do. So by the time I got back, it's I don't smell it. So I'm still kind of looking, but I don't want to get that smell again. So, I did my turn around this brush area. I'm keeping an eye, because I'm looking, because by this is on the way I'm coming, it's on my right. So I'm looking, and I'm looking in there, and I'm looking. I didn't see anything. So I thought, oh my gosh, this stuff I have all on the back of my mind. And now I'm going to tell you something that happened with my cat. So this happened about a month or two ago. My kitten, she's scratching the furniture, which she has scratching, pads and scratching posts and things. But she was doing it on the couch, and I'm like, and I'm telling her, no, you can't scratch the couch. You have your things. So I picked her up, and I'm kind of scolding her a little bit, because I'm like, don't scratch the couch. I'm holding her. And then my husband, because I'm being a little bit, kind of a little bit strong, kind of with her, because usually I'm not, that's my baby, that's my kitten, but I'm being a little bit more, hey. And my husband comes, we're sitting on this chair that I have, and it kind of backs, there's a wall, and then there's our kitchen, and my husband's in the kitchen, but he pops his head, and he's like, hey, and it scared my kitten. When he was like, hey, what are you doing with the cat? And he didn't mean it. And she got scared. And I will tell you that she got scared that a scent came out of her body. And she was even sniffing it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, it stinks. She stinks. And it was this foul smell. And she's I think it took her off guard too, because she didn't know. And she's looking around, and she's sniffing everything, and she's sniffing herself. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And the pillow, because we have pillow, those pillows that come, in the chairs and everything, is this pretty pillow. And I'm like, oh, I can smell the pillow. Like whatever scent that she secreted out of her body. And I think it's like out of her butt. I don't know. But it got on the pillow. And I'm like, oh, the pillow. And of course I washed the pillow. And it lingered for like a little bit. And I'm like, am I going to have to give her a bath? Because she stinks. But it only lingered for a little bit. And then it was fine. So I go and I'm washing the pillow. I'm throwing it in the washer. And then I think to myself, oh my gosh, my kitten was fine. Like, I'm kind of, I'm holding her and I'm like, you can't be scratching the couch. And then my husband pops out from the corner, and it scared her. It scared her to where she released this scent, and it was a stench. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh. So there's, these things like that scent, because it doesn't happen often. It's not like where, you hear encounters of people saying, it's like this horrific smell and sulfur. I know sulfur is like demonic. I haven't smelled anything like that. It's just been like, it doesn't happen often, but I have smelled like this, like skunky, musty. And then that day that it was like this pissy, it almost made me throw up. And that one was a different scent. It wasn't like the skunk musty. It was completely different. That was the only time I smelled it, and I haven't smelled it since. So I wonder, do they get, like, when my son walked out the door to go, because I do think they keep an eye on us. And that's another thing I'm going to talk about, and I'll tell you in a second. Let me just say, I think they keep an eye on us, or they stay around. And then in the morning because it was still dark, when the bus picked him up, I have to turn all the lights on and everything, so there's light out there, all the big lights, so he can go to, stand so the bus picks him up. So I would do that. I would turn all the lights on, and I wonder when I turn all the lights on, if that scared it. And that's why we would find, when he would walk out, it was like this, because him and I acknowledged there's a skunky smell out there. And which brings me to this other point that I've realized or came across, which it could be, people probably already know this. And I'm sure people already knew about, the whole with the cat, and maybe their scent is because they're scared for these creatures, or there's other, I don't know. Maybe it's already, known facts, whatever. But I will tell you this is what I'm learning here. My cat and also my dog. So this is when my dog was still alive. My dog would go to the window. She had like this window that we would leave the blinds up. And she would sniff like the area of the window. And in our bedroom, she would know when there were deer, like right in front of, our home. Like she would bark, and I think she could smell them. And my kitten, now that she's just like almost like a lonely child, an only child now, because my dog is gone. She has her own little window that we leave, the blinds open. We still leave the one for my dog, because again, my kitten's starting to look out the window now. But before we didn't have the heart to close that down, because that means that we're, we haven't gotten over our dog yet. It's a hard subject. We loved our dog so much. She was such a pretty and good girl. But my kitten, she does that also, where she goes and she sniffs like the window. And I think to myself, oh my gosh, like she's sniffing like, because we have a lot, she watches the birds and the squirrels. And there's a cat that comes, there's two cats, a gray one and a white one that comes to visit her. Like the gray one, it slams like the window. And the reason, reason I know this because I saw it with my own two eyes. When she's sitting out there in her little bench that we have for her, it comes and it hits the window. And there's another white one, but the white one just kind of watches her from a distance. It'll stay on the sidewalk. It doesn't get on the porch. It just kind of watches her from a distance. So it's almost like she sniffs like the bottom of the door, our front door, and the windows. So then I think to myself, okay, so if my cat and my dog are able to do that, these creatures, I mean, their scent is so much stronger. Like, I wonder if that's how come they know where we're at, like which room we're in, because they're able to sniff. I mean, do they look, when they're looking through my windows, are they sniffing and picking up scent? So that, because I can tell you that they know, which is going to sound crazy, but they know which room I'm in. I think they know which room we're all in. And I will tell you why. There was one time where I was, I think I might have already mentioned it. I'm not sure. It was just the two of us here. I think both of my sons were not home. It was just my husband and I. So it was just the two of us here at home. He wanted to watch, TV up here in the living room. And I was like, well, I want to listen to my shows. And it was cold. It was during fall. I think it might have been fall or winter, because we already had like a little stove going on in the basement. So I'm sitting in front of the fireplace. So I'm sitting there. I got my laptop going, and I got my, I'm listening to my shows. He's up here, and I'm all, cozy and, bundled up, and I'm sitting in front of the fire and listening to my shows. When I hear, because we have, there's this house has lots of windows and lots of doors. So in my basement, there's another chimney. Okay. And there's doors on one side and doors on the other side to go outside. So I'm sitting there in front of the fireplace, and to my right, I hear on the glass, I hear 2 taps. And I jumped, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I heard it. So I'm like, I heard something. So I was a little bit brave. I got up, turned the light on, and then we had, our curtains and everything. So everything, it's still, I opened up the curtains, and there's also blinds on these doors. So there's blinds, and then there's like heavy duty curtains. So I took my phone and I took pictures. And I think there's something. It's dark. It's kind of dark, but I think I can see something. I'm not going to share that because I don't want to hear. I don't see anything. I'll just keep those to myself. So there was something there. And I'm thinking, okay, it's just the two of us. I came up here and I told my husband, and I'm like, did you hear anything? And he, of course, he didn't hear anything because we're on completely 2 different levels, completely 2 different areas. So I'm like, because he's he's on this side of the house. I'm on the other side, completely different floors. So he didn't hear anything. So then I think, okay, they know, like they knew I was down there by myself. And when I'm by myself in the, whichever room, not all the time, but there are times where they'll tap. It just almost like it. I feel like to let me know, hey, I'm here. There was this other time also where my son, and I think I already talked about this also, but so it was just my younger son and my husband and I at home. My older son was gone. And I know we were working. It was late because I think my husband had a job to do, and he needed to do something. He needed to fix, I can't remember what we were doing, but we had to be in like our mechanical room. And there's no windows or anything in the mechanical room. So the two of us are down there. I watched my son go into the bathroom that we have in the basement, and he went to take a shower. I saw him walk with his towel and everything, like he's going to go take a shower. So we're there, and then we heard a loud sound upstairs. So we were both like, "Did you hear that?" And my husband's like, "Well, it's got to be like, our son." So I'm like, "No, I don't think so, because I just saw him like walk to the bathroom." So I walk out of the mechanical room and I look, towards the bathroom. And like, no, I can hear the shower. He's taking a shower. And of course, our dog, because we had the dog at the time, she was still alive. She was, when the sound happened, like she starts barking. So I'm like, she's barking. She would not have barked. Well, sometimes she did if we made like a loud sound or whatever, she would bark, but she was barking. And I'm like, it's not he's in the shower. So I think we came to check, and because there was nothing. So I think that maybe because they couldn't smell us, or they were wondering, where are you? So they it was I don't know if it was a bang. I don't know what it was, but it was loud. So I thought, maybe that's how they locate. I was talking to another researcher, this great woman that I met when I actually went camping, and I met her there, and we were talking about, it was like a Bigfoot camp out kind of a thing, and I can't remember what she called it. It was a geolocating, where she had an idea how they located people inside, your home, and I thought, wow, that's interesting, because I thought, well, is that how they know that we're a man in the house? So I don't know if they do like a geolocating, or if they just sniff windows, or, and they know where we're at. But I found that very interesting. So those are the things that I've kind of learned. Again, like, it's pretty quiet here. Like, if you just came, and it's really peaceful, like, you wouldn't know there's anything out there, which I'm blessed. Whatever I'm going through, it's different than a lot of other, whether it be, and I also, I don't like, when I take pictures of their faces, it's not okay, when I've seen them with the naked eye, and I see them looking right at me, it's not an evil, like, I'm going to kill you. It's almost like this, I feel like, like you're like, and I know I've said this before also, like, if I'm in a zoo and I'm like the animal in the zoo, and they're like, oh, there's my favorite, animal or whatever in a zoo. That's how the feeling I get, like their facial expression is like, oh my gosh, there she is, like this excited, which is weird. I haven't seen like a face where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna hurt her. I don't get that. I just feel like they're like, there she is. And again, like, if I was to go outside and just kind of sit out there and not even worry, like, don't even think about these things, don't take pictures, just sit out there, like, you wouldn't know that there's anything there. I think that I have like a sixth sense somehow, where I can, and now it's developed more ever since when I started seeing them, because I know, like, before, I mean, I had not a care in the world. We were work outside, and I didn't even know there was anything out there. And now it's like, I can feel being watched. But if I didn't have that, if it was like a complete stranger that came to my house and sat down, nothing. There would be nothing. you wouldn't know there's anything. I just get feelings and I take pictures and there they are. And I've seen them with the naked eye. So I don't have the same, and I, again, like, this is my home. We have taken authority. Like, my husband is the head, I'm underneath, and then my children. And, we know our kind of like our, I don't want to say status or job, that he's the head of my house. I'm not the head. He's the head. I will be submissive to him, and I will be, what I need to do, what I need to do in order to get my house in order and take care and discipline my kids. So it's I don't know how to explain that without sounding it, bad. That works. That is a protection that we have, that where he is the authority here, and he has made, where this is his home and this is his land, and nothing is going to come and, in and hurt anything inside our home or on our property. And he has the authority to call on that. So it's, again, it's peaceful. We do have, family that, they love coming over because it's very peaceful and quiet. I know that there's other people that have issues, and I know that there's going to be a time that I'm going to have to learn how to, I wish I could help, because it's not just these creatures, there's other things out there, and I need to learn more, because right now I feel like I'm kind of like, how can I help if I don't, know myself? I have to I feel like I need to be a little bit more, or kind of give you my view or my advice on how to handle things. Because I know for me, that's outside. It's not going to interfere in my home. I'm not going to, go out there and search for them, or, they're just there and I'm here. I will take pictures and I'll do, but I'm not going to go out there and be like, oh, I don't want to do that. Because right now I'm okay with, I feel like they're on their end and I'm here on my end. I know these wolves will not protect me if they want to get to me. I know that what our 4 little walls going to do when they're this huge. But for now, this works for me. There are times where I do get scared, but I know that I have to keep telling myself, God did not give me the, spirit of fear. I need to be brave. I have to keep, it's one of those things where I have to keep telling myself. And I'm so glad, DW tells me that. And I have a friend that tells me that all the time too. That you do not, God did not give you the spirit of fear. So I will keep that. And I gotta keep kind of in my head, do not, because I do feel like I'm brave. But there are times where I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I won't take any more of your time. I don't know how long I've been talking for, but so it's Tuesday. I hope you're having a great week. Again, thank you, to my new subscribers. I will try to kind of keep you, updated I'll post more pictures when I can. Actually I have a lot of pictures, so I'll try to do that. I do there's one I want to I need to look for them, because it's the one that I have. It's like a collage of 4 faces, and that one I think is one of my better pictures. It's on my first videos. It's like the little thumbnail, because I saw it with a naked eye, and my husband was working cutting a branch, or cutting like that tree. Actually, this tree right here that I have on that picture, he was cutting like he was cutting one of those trunks, tree trunks, and I think it was dead or something. He was cutting it, and he was working on there, and on the other side of my jungle gym, that's where he was at. And I'm grilling, so I'm on my deck grilling, and I'm looking at it, and I'm took my phone out, I'm taking pictures, and I'm looking at it on my screen, and I'm like, I see it. My husband's over there, but he's with his whatever, I can't remember, the saw or whatever. So he's making noise, and I'm like, he's not gonna hear me. Like, he couldn't hear me talking. So, but I'm like, he doesn't see it. And my dog was she was sniffing. I have pictures of her sniffing like the area. And so here's the creature. This is my dog sniffing. And my dog's really kind of scared. And there's another picture where my dog's like walking away. And here's the creature. And I'm looking at it. Like, they don't see it. Even my dog knows that there's something there because she's sniffing. But she doesn't see it. And again, my husband didn't see a thing. And this thing is huge compared to my husband. And I'm like, I can see it. And like, I have a picture of it. But they didn't see it. And I think it was looking right at me. So anyway, I'll have to look for those. And then I'll have to share them when I find them. Just because I thought that was incredible. But anyway, have a great rest of your week. Hopefully I'll be able to get on. If not, I'll catch you next week. But thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye.